Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Engage XR Holdings PLC investor presentation. Throughout this recorded presentation, investors will be in listen-only mode. Questions are encouraged. They can be submitted at any time via the Q&A tab that's just situated on the right-hand corner of your screen. Please just simply type in your questions and press send. The company may not be in a position to answer every question it receives during the meeting itself. However, the company will review all questions submitted today and publish responses where it is appropriate to do so, and these will be available via your Investor Meet Company dashboard. Before we begin, if I may, I would like to submit the following poll, and if you could give that your kind attention, I'm sure the company would be most grateful. And I'll now like to hand you over to CEO David Whelan. Good morning, sir.
Hello everybody, welcome to this full year results presentation. My name is David, I'm the CEO of Engage PLC and I'm joined here by Seamus. Say hello, Seamus.
Hi everyone.
Yeah, so what is Engage? Engage is a metaverse platform. It's a metaverse platform totally focused in business and enterprise, and we have some really great use cases and clients. So as you can see on the list there, we have KPMG, Kia, 3M and HSBC as some of our clients. So you might be asking yourself, what is the metaverse? So the metaverse is an evolution of the internet, but it's not going to be for everything. So if you fill in a form online today and it takes you 2 minutes, you're going to do the same in, 5-10 years time. But where it really comes into its own is in group collaboration, for events. These are the areas where the metaverse will definitely become very useful. Any place where you need to interact with many, many people online. Currently today, people use Zoom and Teams for large events and exhibitions, but there's really no interaction where you're just looking at a video of a load of heads on the screen and then everybody's waiting for their turn to speak. Where when you're in the metaverse, like myself and Seamus are now, you have spatial audio, you can walk around, you can have private conversations with people and you can interact. And it's also very useful for training and development where you can come in here and do product demonstrations and learn about different subjects. So Seamus is going to talk about the financial overview.
Thanks, Dave. Yeah, so obviously the main reason for our presentation today is to give everyone a run through our finances for 2022 and an update on current trading in 2023. 2022 was a very strong year for Engage. We saw a huge growth in revenue with no slowdown post-pandemic, which was something that was raised as an issue, as a potential issue for the company. We've seen an 86% increase in Engage revenue between 2022 and 2021. Our average deal size has grown from 17,000 to 21,000. Our revenue retention rate for customers is 121%, which means customers that are renewing are spending in excess of what they spent in the previous year with us. And you can see in the bottom right-hand square, we've had 14 deals in excess of 75,000 during 2022, up from 4 in the prior year, highlighting the continued growth of the company. Our cash position at the end of April was 10.3 million, following our oversubscribed equity raise of 10.5 million before expenses in the first quarter of this year. Looking at some of the KPIs that we measure ourselves on during 2022, our total license numbers have grown on a compound semi-annual growth rate of 94%. And at the end of 2022, we had in excess of 10,000 active enterprise and education licenses on the platform. As mentioned on the previous slide, our average contract size is growing. We have 16% of our contracts in excess of 75,000 during 2022, with a further 20% between 25 and 75,000. Just looking at some of our key metrics that we have said we'd measure ourselves on in the medium term. One of our targets was to grow Engage revenue in excess of 100% year on year. Our total Engage revenue grew 86% year on year from 1.8 million to 3.3 million. We recorded our record monthly revenue in December 2022 of 0.6 million. And our quarter one revenue is in excess of 1 million euros, which is up 40% on the same period 2022, which is in line with our expectations for the first quarter of this year. Our gross margin, we targeted to be in excess of 80%. We've increased our gross margin year on year to 82% as the Engage revenue contribution grows. We've added 70 new enterprise and education customers to the platform during 2022, bringing the total number to 190 at the year end, and we're in excess of 200 as we stand here today. Our revenue retention rate, as I mentioned on the previous slide, was 121%, with renewing customers increasing their committed spend with us. We targeted an average contract value of 20,000 per enterprise and education customer, and we've achieved that during 2022 with our average contract value reaching 21,000. And we do expect that to continue to grow during 2023 onwards. Obviously, our cash position is a key metric for us. At the end of 2022, we had a cash balance of 2.2 million. But we had a very heavily oversubscribed fundraising Q1 of this year, raising 10.5 million before expenses, 9.9 million after expenses. Our expected cash burn during the first half of this year is approximately 400,000 per month. That's following significant payroll savings. We cut our payroll costs from Q4 2022 to Q1 2023 by 25%. Payroll costs are our most significant cost, given the nature of the business. So I'm just going to talk briefly about the opportunity and market size that Engage is dealing with. And just on the next slide here, we can see the market opportunity that we're targeting. We're targeting three key areas of the market: global team collaboration software, global e-learning, and global virtual events. You can see here that there are massive markets with in excess of 400 billion available. We consider our initial target addressable market between 10 and 44 billion. Within these markets, the VR and AR compound annual growth rate is expected to be a multiple of the non-VR and AR compound annual growth rate. And our cross-platform support on desktop, phone, tablets, and VR headsets enable us to target a broader market, unrestricted by the availability of VR and AR hardware. We expect 2023 to be another formative year for us, especially with the launch of Link at the end of 2022, with regard to building an evidence base for our addressable target market.
Okay, so one of the big things that we were focused on last year was building partnerships with leading players in the space. And one of these partnerships, which we announced, was with Lenovo. Lenovo are the biggest hardware manufacturer for computing devices in the world. They sell about 30 million Chromebooks a year. They're releasing their own headset called the VRX in a matter of weeks. And this is a headset which is totally focused on enterprise use cases. And in the partnership, what they're going to be doing is reselling Engage services on the headset, and Engage is actually going to be an install on many of the devices going out there. So we're very, very excited by this opportunity, because we know Lenovo have a proven track record, and they actually work with most of the Fortune 500 companies in the world. So we expect big things coming from this partnership. So I'm just going to play a little preview of this headset.
Ready or not, the metaverse is coming. A digital layer on our physical world.
But what does that even mean? You've got real work to get done and people to connect. We get it. That's why for us, the metaverse is not a game, which is why we created the Lenovo Think Reality VRX, your gateway to the enterprise metaverse. So you can train your team, letting them get hands-on, literally, gaining real experience for lasting results. Bring your hybrid workforces together to keep them collaborating and creativity flowing. Engineer that next big thing, or learn in safe, repeatable, and exciting new ways. Whatever your business, the Think Reality VRX was built with you in mind. Privacy, security, supports, yeah, those are our top priorities too. But you need to think ahead, which means advanced optics and color mixed reality pass-through, so the real world can meet the virtual one. And versatility, giving you control over how your experiences get powered and how they're developed. All backed by Lenovo, a true enterprise partner ready to support your needs and scale your solution into the metaverse. The Lenovo Think Reality VRX. You don't play games with your business. Neither do we.
Okay, so that was the video preview of the headset. What we've been doing over the past few months is we've been training up the Lenovo sales staff on how to sell Engage, and we're also going to be doing joint pitches with Lenovo to their own clients. They have 10,000 salespeople chomping at the bit to sell these services. So it's going to be an interesting second half of the year when we start seeing revenue come in from this partnership. So what are the use cases for Engage? So as I said previously, Engage is used for virtual meetings and exhibits. It's also used for remote training and development, virtual product launches, remote education, team building and collaboration events, and digital twins. And actually the image you can see there is the Kia showroom. So they built a whole virtual showroom inside Engage, which they use for training and development. So they train salespeople remotely inside a virtual environment, but they also have this showroom available for the general public on Engage Link, where you can go in and look at the cars and ask information about dealerships. So just to look at the collaboration, training and development aspects, in this short video presentation, you're going to see some of the features on Engage. This video is a little bit dated. You'll also see some of the educational use cases on the platform.
We all experience the world in unique ways. Through our senses, we gather information and build cognitive process to understand concepts. This is how we learn. But what if we could push these boundaries past our physical world? What if you could communicate with anyone in the world, yet feel like you were in the same room? If you could meet and learn from teammates globally, sharing media and ideas, or jump into a simulated training.
But the real test is being able to do the right thing in a stressful situation.
To gain a deeper understanding of the task at hand.
And just squeezing the trigger to squeeze the bag. You have ventilated the baby, and now it's time to reassess.
Please fasten your seatbelt, sir.
Creating real-world scenarios, improving employee knowledge and skills.
Exactly, plant another tree. And this time we put it up the top.
Imagine if quality education was accessible to all, regardless of geographical location.
Large hazard and increase the risk to these big cities.
What if no field trip is too far or impossible? A world of immersive experiences. Engage, communicate, teach, learn.
Okay, welcome back. So just looking at digital twins and meta worlds, one of the big services we released last year was Engage Link. So Engage Link is an always on persistent location where the general public can come in and walk around and visit locations that our clients have built. They can also attend events. Now, this is the first time that this has been available on the platform, because previously our users used to use Engage kind of similar to Zoom and Teams, where they would open up a room, they would hold a meeting or event, and then when they log out, the room would close down, very similar to Zoom or Teams. Whereas now we have the ability to leave these rooms open all the time. So think of it like the front page of your website, except instead of being like a flat page, you're actually inside a virtual environment walking around. So it brings up very, very interesting use cases. So in this video, we're actually just going to show you a preview of Engage Link, which is our enterprise metaverse offering.
Welcome to Engage, the professional metaverse platform for Fortune 500 companies and world-leading educational institutions. It's time to stop playing games. The metaverse just got real. Central Plaza is the jumping-off point to our theme plazas inside what we call Engage Link. Meet like-minded professionals and make new friends while exploring new virtual worlds together. Enterprise Plaza is a central hub for users to connect directly with enterprise meta-world owners. Each unique meta-world is run individually by the clients themselves and can be linked to external applications through meta traversal. The internet is evolving from a solo 2D text-based experience to a shared 3D spatial experience in what is loosely termed the metaverse. Our educational clients provide remote learning through metaversities. With some of the world's largest and most prestigious institutions on board, you are in safe hands on Engage. Own your own virtual apartment. Decorate it with your own furniture. Make it unique by adding art. Stream media from any web source. Remember to invite some friends so you don't dance alone. We also cater for creatives. Want to display art, hold an event or fashion show, or create something truly stunning using our inbuilt content tools.
Okay, welcome back. So that is Engage Link, which is our metaverse offering, and we are fitting it up quite quickly. We have new names going onto the platform month on month. It takes a little bit of time to onboard these people, so hopefully in the coming months we'll be announcing more names in there. But we have people like Lenovo, Kia, Pfizer, HSBC, HTC, Pearson Education. So there's quite a few clients, and you've seen quite a few logos on that previous video. So one of the items to attract people to the platform is running events on the platform. So we worked in collaboration with Fat by Slim on an immersive concert. Now, there have been metaverse concerts in the past, but they haven't been true concerts. They've been, 5-10 minute experiences, more like glorified music videos. Whereas what we worked on with Norman was a full hour-long concert where it was all about the experience. So you travel within his mind. You go on a journey through his mind as you're listening to some of his greatest hits. It was a great success. We held it in March. It attracted a lot of people to the platform. So I'm just going to play just a short clip from that gig.
I'm engaged, bitch. Your hands up. If you came to party, let me see your hands up. If you came to party, let me see your hands up. 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 Right here, right now, right here, right now, right here.
That boy ain't nothing but trouble.
Okay, welcome back. As you can see, that gig was quite strange and unusual, but it really shows off some of the features of the platform. So it was showing the collaboration of people inside dancing. You could see 360 video playing and animation. So the platform itself is very powerful, and it's actually opening up a lot of opportunities to work with other artists in the future. So here's just some of the clients. Some of these I spoke about already. As you can see, we've Pearson, KPMG, Stanford University. So these are pretty big names, and actually Meta are a client of ours as well. So Meta uses for professional events, and they use us for meetings as well for clients. But they've also funded 10 metaversities on the platform through a third-party provider who has built a business on top of our platform called Victory XR. And actually that partnership is growing and expanding, and we hope to announce more about that in the coming months. As you can see, Kia had a car showroom on the platform. BHP are one of the big mining companies. So the thing with Engage is it's across all different sectors: education, enterprise, mining, medtech, consultancy services. We have a wide variety of different clients, which is fantastic. So it just shows how robust the platform is. So yeah, I'll pass back over to Seamus.
Thanks, Dave. So just to conclude, we just wanted to give a quick overview of our current trading and outlook for the first quarter of 2023. Our quarter one revenue was up approximately 40% compared to the equivalent period last year, in excess of €1 million, which was in line with management expectations. As we already spoke about, we had a significantly oversubscribed fundraise, raising 10.5 million before expenses, with continued institutional and retail support across existing and new investors. As at the 30th of April, we had cash on the balance sheet of 10.3 million. We took action to realign our cost base, which we reduced by 25% from quarter 4 2022 to quarter 1 2023. We've seen continued growth in customers for Engage Link. New clients won in the period include an international food processing company, a multinational energy company, and a global education organisation. We've seen continued growth in total customers, which now exceeds 200. Additional new clients include two of the world's leading banks. As Dave mentioned and showed a demo in the previous slides, we hosted Engage's first VR concert entitled Eat, Sleep, Repeat with Fatboy Slim, and we're currently exploring further revenue opportunities in relation to this. Our pipeline continues to grow, and the Lenovo partnership is opening up some exciting opportunities. We as a board are confident in our outlook going forward for 2023. And we'll happily take any questions you may have now at this stage. Thank you.
David, Seamus, that's great, and thank you very much indeed for your presentation this morning. Ladies and gentlemen, please do continue to submit your questions just by using the Q&A tab that's situated on the top right-hand corner of your screen. But just while the team take a few moments to review those questions that were submitted already, I would like to remind you that a recording of this presentation, along with a copy of the slides and the published Q&A, can be accessed via your investor dashboard. David, Seamus, we did receive a number of pre-submitted questions ahead of today's event, and as you can see there in the Q&A tab, we've also received a number of questions throughout your presentation this morning as well. So firstly, thank you to all of those on the call for taking the time to submit their questions. And guys, if I may hand back to you just to respond to those where it's appropriate to do so, and then I'll pick up from you at the end. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thanks everyone for joining today. I'm going to read through the pre-submitted and the live questions right now, and either myself or Dave will answer them as appropriate. The first one that was submitted was, are Engage still on track to hit their target of €10 million revenue by 2025? I can take that. The guidance that's out there in the marketplace at the moment from both of our brokers doesn't extend to 2025 as yet, but the board are confident that the metric that we put out to hit €10 million by 2025 is broadly in line. Obviously, there's huge potential for upside from the Lenovo partnership, but we think we're in a good place in relation to that. Can you provide any information on Engage's pipeline value? So our pipeline, as it stands, is very strong. As we mentioned in the presentation, we're closing bigger and bigger deals. Our existing sales team are doing great work in the first half of this year. As we noted, our US sales team, which we staffed up in 2022, is bearing fruit. We've got a significant proportion of our revenue coming through from the United States and North America in this at the start of the year, and our pipeline continues to grow there. When is Engage XR expecting to become profitable? That's broadly in line with the first question around hitting our €10 million revenue figure. Again, I can only speak about what's already out in the marketplace from our brokers, from our analysts, and there's no indication of profitability in those, but we do expect it to occur in the short-term future. So it's not forecast for 2023 or 2024, but we would hope that in the near future after that we would be hitting break-even and profitability. Do you see any benefits of a dual listing in the United States?
I can take this one, Seamus, if you want. So this time last year, if you asked me, I would have said yes. But right now, markets are very, they're not very stable at the moment. We're obviously waiting to see what news comes out of America in the next 3 weeks if they're going to default. So it's not something that I would rule out, but right now I think markets are too volatile right now to consider dual listing right at this period.
Thanks, Dave. The Lenovo partnership, is Engage an add-on that would need to be activated, and what incentive do sales staff have to push this to the customer? That to you, Dave, as well.
Yeah, so the sales staff are incentivized where they get commission on any sales that are made. They get commission on the hardware that they sell, but also on software licenses. In some cases, it will be an add-on, but in many cases, Engage is pre-installed on a lot of these headsets. So Lenovo, they don't have a store. What they do is they're selling hardware with software packages, and Engage is one of those packages. So a lot of these headsets will come pre-installed with Engage anyway. So as I said, look, we're very excited about the second half of this year, and we hope to have news in a matter of weeks of when this is going to kick off.
Please can you share your key metrics and revenue projections for FY 2023? There's a new analyst note going out this morning, one of which can be made public, and we will be adding that to our website later today. That will give a good breakdown of our revenue projections and our key metrics for the year. Next question I have is, you bulked up on staff in the second half of last year to grow the client base. This is now reversed. So I suppose to answer that question is, we grew our sales team, which was a small portion of our overall team in the second half of last year. That team remains in place and is performing very well. We also grew our technical staff last year to ensure we delivered Engage Link on time. We do not have the same requirement for that level of technical staff into 2023, so our staff costs have reduced in that manner, but we do still continue to focus on the sales team and the growth that they can deliver. Same person has asked, how are US sales brand recognition going? So as I mentioned, answering an earlier question, we have significantly grown our percentage of sales coming from North America in 2023, which is recognition of how well our US sales team are performing. I think given the strength of the clients that we have within the marketplace, we've shown on one of our slides there just a snapshot of the clients that we can publicize. We've got quite good brand recognition. We are also working with a PR agency in the United States to help continue to grow our brand within North America.
Yeah, I think like maybe to give a number on it, 60% of our sales comes from the US. There's only a handful of companies that can do anything like what the Engage platform can do. And as Seamus said, the strength of our client base, or the client names that you can see, like most of those are US contacts, not European contacts.
Brendan says, congrats on a strong year. Going forward, is your focus going to be to add more clients to the 200 plus customer base, or do you do more with your existing customer base? And the answer is it's a mix of both. So we're seeing strong renewals and strong upsells from our existing customer base, but at the same time, there's a huge number of customers that we want to win. As Dave mentioned in previous presentations, and listen, we want to be the Fortune 500 go-to offering, and we want to make sure we grow our number of Fortune 500 companies on our list of customers during this year.
Yeah, I think if you look at last year as a whole, yes, it was disappointing that we missed our overall revenue target, but we didn't miss it by much. Certainly a lot less than what we would have thought back in November, especially with the turbulent time going on in the tech industry. But I think what we have proven last year is that we have clients who are renewing their contracts with us, but also increasing their spend. And that's been a lot of the growth on the platform. And we expect to see the same again this year. And I think, Seamus, you mentioned one client previously grew from a 15 grand contract to, I believe you said 75 grand contract last year when they renewed. And that's the type of growth that we expect to see happen again second half of this year. And on top of that, then the Lenovo deals that are coming, should be coming in second half of this year. So we're pretty positive and confident where we're sitting right now. And I think we're in a better position now than we've ever been in the past, 5 years.
Thanks, Dave. And then the last question here is, you present a massive market opportunity. Is a very sizable addressable market based on those vertical segments you are currently serving? And to what extent can you continue to serve such multiple verticals given your resources and the growing competition?
Yeah.
So the total. Sorry, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, no. So I was just going to say, like, it is good to diversify, so our client base in the enterprise space, we've medtech, we have professional services, we have events, we have manufacturing, car manufacturing as well. And because it's so diverse, if one market is hit really, really hard, it shouldn't affect us so much if we're just focused on medtech, as an example. So it's good to have it in that way. And then on the education side of it, it's the same tools that work across enterprise and education. So it's a lot of third level educational clients that we deal with, but they build their own content. So it's not like we have to build the content for them. So I think it's good that we can, service so many different clients. And even with the Fat by Slim concert in the entertainment space, we had a concert that was better than anything else in the metaverse space previously. And it just goes to show how powerful the platform is. So it very much is the Swiss Army knife of the metaverse. And I think that's a strength. It's not a weakness of the platform. It's not like we're developing the content ourselves. We're just providing the tools that people can build with.
Thanks, Dave. Gavin asks here, who owns the shares? Institutional names he's looking for. So just to give a quick overview of what's on our website, Canaccord are our largest shareholder. They hold 21% of the register. HTC, who are a strategic investor, hold 12%. And then just reading down the other main ones, Octopus own 10%, Seneca 4%, Enterprise Ireland, who are a government body here in Ireland who funded us at the early stages, own 3.6%. Unicorn own 3.6%, and Premier Miton own 3.5%. That's the main institutions that hold shares with us. The balance is a mixture of institutional and retail investors. Jack C, it's not actually a question. He's just congratulating us on a strong year. Share price certainly doesn't reflect the progress the company has made. We would 100% agree with you there, Jack, and we're working to rectify that throughout this year. Whale has a similar point. Are we considering around the share price and the valuation? Are we considering any strategic options to materially increase the market cap or volume? We're working closely both with FinCap and Shard, our joint brokers, to assess any ways to improve our market cap, as well as obviously releasing good news as and when we can via RNSs. I think that's probably all we can answer to some duplicated questions as well that I think I've covered already. So I think that's all the questions for now.
David, apologies. Sorry, sir.
No, you're fine. As I said, look, I think we had a pretty positive year overall, and I think we definitely get tarred with the same brush anytime there's bad news flow around Meta or any other metaverse company. It affects us extremely poorly, but we are proceeding on plan. I think you can start to see now that we are a team that don't normally hype up the business too much, but we definitely deliver on the most part, on our promises. So look, I'm excited for what's coming ahead, and this raise that we've had with our investors earlier this year was fantastic to get that support, and it should see us through to profitability, and we hope in the coming months and years.
David, Seamus, that's great. And thank you very much indeed for being so generous with your time there and addressing all of those questions that came in from investors this morning. And of course, if there are any further questions that do come through, we'll make these available to you immediately after the presentation has ended, just for you to review, to then add any additional responses, of course, where it's appropriate to do so. And we'll publish all those responses out on the Investor Meet Company platform. David, I was just going to ask you for a few closing comments to wrap up with, but I think you just well delivered those, sir. So if I may, what I'll do is I'll look to redirect those on the call for their feedback, which I know is particularly important to yourself and the company. So thank you once again for updating investors this morning. Could I please ask investors not to close this session, as you'll now be automatically redirected for the opportunity to provide your feedback in order that the management team can better understand your views and expectations. This won't take a few moments to complete, but I'm sure will be greatly valued by the company. On behalf of the management team of Engage XR Holdings PLC, we would like to thank you for attending today's presentation. That now concludes today's session, so good morning to you all.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye now.